So I want to start off by talking about the Dean Withers Surrounded video that has been going viral recently. When this came out 2 weeks ago, everyone was asking me to cover this on stream. It's been a while since I streamed, so unfortunately I didn't get right to it, but we'll talk about it now. I find it a little, I've not seen any of this, but I do find it a little bit odd that it's 20 MAGA women specifically, as opposed to just 20 MAGA voters. Like, I don't know why they specifically had to get 20 women in the circle, because for me, all you do by limiting like the amount of people that can be there, whether it be men, women, or trans, it's like you're almost limiting the amount of intelligent people that can be there. Like, why don't you get 10? Because the thing is, I don't like in these if it was like 10 women and 10 men, if that makes sense, then you can get the 10 best women and the 10 best men, or whatever the fuck. I don't know. It's just odd. Like, why is it? I don't understand why it's just women. My goodness, it's 2 hours long. God. All right, well, let's give it a watch, eh? Maybe we'll speed it up after a few minutes, but let's have a listen.
I think that we need strong alpha males like Donald J. Trump, Spencer Pratt, and our loved Charlie Kirk.
Did you just unironically say strong alpha males?
We have laws in favor of women getting leadership roles. We're taking opportunities away from men. You are oppressed more than me.
Men are men, and men have testosterone, and men love beautiful women. And trust me, I would prefer a man that actually looks at women and is sexually attracted to women.
Dude.
They had to make things up to get Trump. Trump doesn't have...
Is that like her responding to Donald Trump being a rapist? That it's okay because he's not gay or something? Because he raped a woman and not a man? If that's the context behind that clip, that's actually insane.
have to be a sexual predator. Any woman would love to be with Trump.
All right, listen, put your hand up if you would have sex with Donald Trump.
Okay, I can already tell we're not watching this whole video.
Has Donald Trump been a good president for women, or
Raw Beef Man says allegedly. No, Trump didn't allegedly rape a woman. He raped a woman.
has America moved backward from expanding women's rights to debating how far those rights should go? I'm John Regalado, and from Jubilee Media, this is Surrounded, where one brave soul
what were you talking about, Raw Beef Man?
faces a room full of disagreeers. Today, we are diving into what feminism means on both sides of the aisle, abortion
my bad, Raw Beef Man. I understand you. We can chill.
rights, and President Trump's record. I'm here with our featured guest, progressive commentator, Dean Withers. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, Danky, can I recommend an anime? Honestly, I was ignoring your message at first, but after watching the intro, I think I'd rather talk about anything that isn't this. So yeah, go right ahead and recommend your goddamn anime, mate. Thank you very much for the 50 monies, Sophie. First donation. I don't know what that currency is, but thank you. I appreciate it.
You ready to go?
Oh, I'm excited. This will be fun.
All right. Are you all ready to debate Dean?
Dean Withers likes to pretend to be indigenous. Okay, I've not seen any of that.
Yeah. All right, let's get into it.
I'm Dean Withers. I'm a 21-year-old liberal. I do political debate for a living, and today I'm surrounded by 20 Trump supporters again. But this time, they're all women. My first surrounded claim is, men aren't better at leading than women.
If you would like to debate this claim, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
It's a good claim, that. Because it's not even saying necessarily that men are better at leading than women, but just that men aren't inherently better as well, which I feel like is pretty difficult to argue against. It's probably difficult to argue against because we've not seen that many women in power, so there's not really much to compare it to.
Good to see you again.
Welcome back, Lori. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Does it mean just like generally, in terms of general groups, or does it mean like in terms of countries and stuff?
For you?
I guess we'll see.
I'm doing phenomenal.
I guess we'll just see where the conversations go. Thing is, I'm really hoping that they actually bring some horsepower to these debates, and that not all the women, it's like, because I feel, you know what it is, right? I don't know if this is me being too woke. If Jubilee went out, thank you, George, Jesus, $100, brother. Thank you so much, Foreign. That is so unbelievably kind of you, dude. But I don't know, you can help me out with this one, because I don't know if I'm being too woke, actually, Foreign. But if Jubilee went out there and like handpicked 100 very uneducated or like notoriously silly sounding women to debate on this panel, and then had Dean Withers, who's like notoriously very good at debating, just sort of crush them. That sort of feeds into a misogynistic mindset that a lot of people might be watching these videos for. It sort of feeds into the same culture that made the feminist get wrecked thing so popular a few years back, except, you know, sort of reversed politically, if that makes sense. Because those videos went so well because people love seeing women get dunked on, because the internet's very misogynistic. And if the same thing's happening here, then I feel like that's also worthy of criticism, despite them being on the right, if that makes sense.
So the first claim is that men are not better at leading than women. And I'm honestly appalled that you as a woman would disagree. But I mean, if you want to start it off by telling us why you do think men are better at leading than women, the mic is all yours.
Well, how I would like to start this off is I'd like you to define what a woman is.
Well, sure. I think that
Oh, I hate this question, man. First of all, because it's never asked in good faith. But second of all, because the definition that conservatives tend to go with when they ask this question is Jubilee is the best example of how most debates aren't in pursuit of truth, but of spectacle. I think generally that is true. I think Jubilee is a great example of that for sure. But the thing with the definition that most conservatives go for is like adult human female. It's so simple. It's adult human female, no problem. It's like, okay, well, for people who are so like hung up on definitions, how do you define female? Because female is like almost just a synonym for woman a lot of the time, at least.
the definition of what a woman is ultimately irrelevant to this debate, and I'm willing to assume
not.
I'm willing to pre-assume your definition of what a woman is, i.e. an adult human female. See, if I were to give you my definition of what a woman is, an adult human individual that pertains to the social and cultural characteristics typical that of a female sex indexed to their gender identity, well, then all of a sudden we're going to be speaking past one another because we define the word woman.
It's never how you define a man. Thing is, I'm perfectly okay with adult human female being the definition for woman, the same way that I'm okay with the definition for mother being the lady who gives birth to you. Like, your mum, definitionally, is the one who gives birth to you. However, if you have a stepmother or you're adopted, then the woman who raised you, that's still your mum, even though they didn't give birth to you. Definitions are malleable a lot of the time, even when they're very, like, near and dear to people's heart and very much backed scientifically. Woman, man is the exact same thing. As much as the inherent most basic definition for woman might be adult human female, and it has to be backed by like all this, sexual biological bullshit, there's also a more cultural definition, and trans women absolutely fit that bill.
Differently.
Exactly.
So I'm more than
for you
happy to
bring
pre-assume
this
your
prompt in the first
definition.
place is kind of silly because you don't know what a woman is.
Well, I just told you what my
And,
definition of the word woman is. You just simply
I think
overlooked
it
it.
would also depend on what leadership role that person would take. For instance, if you wanted Kamala Harris, who
How do you feel about Dean participating in these debates that are clearly not for changing people's mind? I don't really have a problem with Dean participating in a debate that he's being invited to by Jubilee. I would prefer if Dean debated or spoke to people that weren't like either like strangers or randoms or like people who had no idea how to debate, if that makes sense. Because it is just sort of him wiping the floor with them much of the time, which does help, kind of. Like, there are definitely going to be some people who are on the fence who hear a conservative get fucking just beaten to the ground by Dean at some point and think, oh, I don't want to be on that guy's side. He looks like a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? But generally, to people who actually like care about politics in a manner, for a substantial amount of years, if they're reading books, if they actually give a fuck, then debates like this, you're not really going to learn anything new from them.
you voted for to be the president of the United States, we have a problem with that, and I'll tell you why.
But it does work though, because Charlie Kirk did the exact same shit on the other side, and it's just complete propaganda, really. But it does, like, his stuff worked. The right are pretty notoriously great at propaganda, and it does work. And you just sort of hammer it home on college students and shit.
It's not necessarily the woman, but it is necessarily foreign countries. For instance, the Middle East. If I go to a Middle East country as a woman, I can't show my hair at risk of being stoned.
Why are we talking about Middle Eastern countries when the prompt is men are not
because
better
you're
at leading than
asking
women?
about leading.
No, what's happened here is she's come in here wanting to talk about something specifically, and she was going to shift whatever the prompt was into whatever topic she wanted to talk about. It's like if you have like an English test when you're a kid in school, and you come in very confident about one thing, but so whatever the question is, you'll find a way to just fucking shoehorn whatever whatever you're talking about or whatever you wanted to talk about into the question. That's exactly what this lady's doing here.
You voted for Kamala Harris. I think she would have been a horrible leader. Foreign countries don't always see women as respectful as they see a man. A woman leading this country, for instance, when you go to a...
Donald Trump gets fucking dog-walked by Putin, by the way. Dog-walked. He has no respect for him. The reason why Putin likes Donald Trump is because he can fucking lead him around like a wee puppy dog. And the right see that and go, oh, he's so good at making friends. It's like, nah, he's good at being his bitch. That's what it is.
doing foreign policy and all of those things, they would not have the respect that a man would. I can also say as a woman, depending on your age, if I've got
Thank you very much for the $5, Imagine.
PMS, honey, I'm going to make different decisions than I would as if I didn't. If I'm going through menopause, I might have hot flashes or whatever else. I believe as a Christian woman, men are supposed to lead. Mm-hmm. We're supposed to help. And I'm totally comfortable with that.
Okay, well, thank you, Lori. So the first thing that I point out here is that your position.
The thing is, he's going to say, and it's true. I think it's true what he's going to say. He'll probably say that the men are responsible for like 90% of violent crime, which is a great point. Because it's like if you're that emotional that you're going to spontaneously, exhibit violence on people, murder, violence, rape, all that kind of thing. If you're that emotional, then you probably shouldn't be leading either, which makes total sense. Like, it's definitely something that should be brought up here.
Position that maybe foreign countries wouldn't respect a female president as much as a male president, I don't think is represented through the fact that on the global stage, Harris had a significantly higher approval rating than Trump during the election. And there's a reason for that.
Because she would have been a pushover.
Also, I also hate when people bring up anything religious in these debates. Like, if you're talking to someone about any form of policy and they mention Christianity or Islam or any of that shit, they immediately lose my interest. I think it's incredibly inappropriate.
They would have walked right over her.
And that's exactly why she had significantly better policy, better character, would have been a better president for America.
Not at all.
But ultimately, once again, Lori,
failure.
the topic of debate is not, was Harris a better option for the president than Trump? Because even if we want to look at women and men on this macroscopic level of evaluating one woman compared to one man, even if it was true, Harris was a clown and Trump was awesome, that still wouldn't mean that generally speaking, men are better at leading than women. The last point that you made there was about PMS, and I think that you're like indicating that women are more emotional than men on average.
They are, 100%.
Okay. Then tell me why men commit.
PMS exists, but I don't know why these people always hammer up to the degree that they do. It's like you never see women in real life. You never hear stories of like a woman going out and murdering someone because they're on their period. It's like every now and then you get a little grumpy or a little emotional. Maybe you're on edge a little bit more, but it's not to this fucking exorbitant worldwide scale. Like if a woman was leading the country and they were on their period, oh, maybe, you know what? Usually I want world peace, but now that I'm on my period, I kind of want to bomb the entire fucking planet.
92% of violent crimes. Tell me why they're more likely to self-isolate, commit suicide. So you think that testosterone is what makes men more emotional?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Ash, thank you so much for banning the anime person, dude. Thank you. That was very cool of you. I like you. I like you because you don't need me to tell you to do shit. That was very cool.
Well, then you just conceded the debate.
No, I didn't concede.
You just said that absolutely men are more emotional than men 5 seconds after saying that women were more emotional than men.
And that's kind of like somewhat of a red herring because what I'm...
Thank you for the $5, Hasty King. Hey, Jesse, sorry to bother the show again, but I remember Andrew Ditch Pease. I know you like psychology and I want your opinion on him. Thanks, dude. I don't know what you're talking about, dude. Sorry.
Trying to say to you, women are more emotional. They just are in more of a... I can change my mind depending on my mood. Now, you're bringing in anger. You're bringing in violence. You're bringing in...
Is anger an emotion?
It is, but to a different extent. And honestly, if you've got a man that's violent, out of character alone, I don't want him leading the country.
Yeah, that's why you voted for...
Oh, yeah. You want to get into that? I know that's another problem, and I'm happy to get into that.
I guess we could get into
never accused. Never accused of...
He wasn't just accused. He was found civilly liable.
Okay, we got to pause there. You've been voted out. Please return to your seat.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, Lori.
If you would like to be the next debater, please get to the chair. In 3, 2...
Yeah, I'm sorry, hey. I don't know who Andrew Ditch is. I'll look into them, though.
1.
Welcome, welcome.
Hi.
I'm going to give the mic to you. Why don't you tell us all why men are better at leading than women?
Men are better at leading because as a woman, I can tell you that we're...
I don't know. I just don't know if I can watch this video. I'm going to speed it up at the very fucking least. I just, like, it's just not really satiating me, intellectually, if that makes sense. Civilly liable is still bad, and I hate when people act like it's different. Thank you for calling that out. Civilly liable at its core means, like, more likely than not. So if you want to be really prudent about it, then you could say Donald Trump more likely than not raped a woman. However, it has been all but confirmed that, like, he forcefully shoved his fingers out inside of an unconsenting woman's vagina, and the only reason it wasn't called rape was because that wasn't, like, I think legally in that state that didn't count as rape at the time. But if it happened today, it would be seen as rape because they've changed the rules since then. But even the judge was like, yeah, this is, I hate that I can't call this rape because, like, this is a weird loophole, but, like, by all intents and purposes, it was. Danky, do you still work at the counting house? Oh no, did you used to work at the counting house? Yes, I did. I did. Who are you? Who are you, and what do you know about me? What is going on here? Who told you that? That's really what's going. Mouse music. I'm concerned now.
We're emotionally manipulated very easy. We tend to be compassionate because we, as a woman, and getting pregnant, it's inherent in us. Why? Because we deal with babies.
So women deal with babies, therefore women can be manipulated. I don't think that argument follows. But once again,
can be easily manipulated.
Women can be easily manipulated.
And convinced, yeah.
What's the argument for?
No way. I thought I recognized you. I went there all the time at uni. The counting house is a Wetherspoons in Glasgow. Next time I'm in Glasgow, I will be back, but that's pretty cool. Thank you very much. That's pretty fucking rad, dude.
It's inherent in us.
Okay, just saying that it's inherent is like me saying that what is actually inherent of women is that they can't be easily manipulated. That doesn't give me any substance to underpin your position when you just simply underpin your position by saying, well, it's inherent, and it doesn't push this dialogue forward. I would say that men are probably easier to emotionally manipulate than women.
People are saying, why is it bad to bring religion into it? Because let's say you're arguing about abortion and someone says, oh, abortion's bad because the Bible says that it's bad. That's an unarguable position. That's like saying abortion's bad because my cousin says that it's bad. It means nothing. It doesn't mean anything. And when it comes to, like, religious intervention, if someone says, oh, abortion's bad because God said it was bad, and then someone else says, no, abortion's good because God said it was good, you can't prove either one wrong.
Or else they wouldn't be culpable for 92% of violent crimes. We could emotionally manipulate men by making rules against
law and government. Unfortunately, it's not, but it should be.
Fortnite. The next thing we know, there's 3 holes in his walls. All right, same thing with self-unaliving statistics. Suicide. Suicide's a really bad thing, but it is true that men are significantly more likely to kill themselves than women on average. Same thing with drunk driving.
From what I understand, I think women are more likely to attempt suicide, but because they're not as violent, the attempts don't, it usually doesn't lead to a successful suicide. I might need to double check that. Are women more likely to attempt? Three times more likely to attempt suicide than men. God damn, raw. Okay, Jesus. Just a wee search there. I haven't looked too into it, but it's definitely what it seems. So yeah, maybe not the greatest statistic to use there. In terms of, like, men being more emotional.
Gambling. And then when we look at women, they actually perform better in the fields that are less indicative of emotion.
I think they're equally emotional. I think men and women are equally emotional, just in different ways. And if there is a difference, it's an insignificant difference emotion-wise.
Emotional outbursts, such as performing well in school. And I mean, this is all underpinned by biology. There's a study done.
I'd say women have more people around them. Women don't have more people around them. They're just usually better at socializing in a healthy manner with the people that they do have around. Men have people around them as well. They just suck at communicating.
By the American Medical Association that proved that if you're operated on by a female compared to a male in the operating room at a hospital, that you're less likely to die or to experience any post-negative operative outcomes. Why? Because women are biologically designed to deal with stress and pain better than men because they have thicker dendrites in their brain. So ultimately, the science and the empirical facts completely reject the conclusions that you formed.
Not at all. Men are more rational and women...
You've been voted out by the majority, so please return to your seat.
I've heard this thicker dendrite thing said by Dean a lot. I know it's true, but I do think he overstates the importance of it a slight bit.
If you want to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Hi. What's your name?
Annette Davis Jackson.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes.
So let's hear it. Why do you think that men are better at leading than women?
How about I know that men lead better than women? Because women have the babies, you're emotional, but more important, I have a dad. I have a dad who is very strong. And when I see what President Trump is embodying, I say, and I know that you can roll your eyes, but you know what my grandmother used to say, you can roll your...
Oh, down goes the stream. Yeah, let's go.
Hey, listen, I appreciate you for the respectful dialogue.
By the way, I'm going to tell you I respect you a lot. I saw it when you...
What was he about to call her? What do you mean? What if we just get audio? I can't, because then the whole chat will just be like, oh, where's the audio? There's no audio, dude. What's going on? And that will really annoy me.
DNC Spidey.
Well, could you respond to the
Okay,
argument
we
again?
have to pause.
He called her a stupid bitch. Are you serious?
Piece of ideas.
Things that I've said, as long as you're able to.
Brooker's
he
philosophy grad program is tied for second with
Have a brain. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, I guess women are better at leading and win.
No, we're not. We're good.
That's so stupid. You're so stupid. Okay. You're such a stupid person for going,
No. He didn't. Stupid person. All right, chill out, guys. Chill out.
we're not better than men. I'm sorry.
You fucking hell. Jesus, guys.
Actually, have a soul.
Have a good one.
Pause there. You've been voted out.
Hey, listen, I appreciate you for the respectful dialogue.
By the way, I want to tell you I respect you a lot. I saw when you cried for Charlie Kirk. You actually have a soul.
Have a good one.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a different... Okay, I guess that's why it's the most replayed bit. I don't know why... Is that really that funny? Jesus fuck. Was it that hilarious?
Charlie Kirk. You actually have a soul.
Have a good one.
Just because she's...
No! Got him! Oh no! Oh,
I don't understand what I don't understand what's going... I don't understand... I genuinely... Honestly, honest to God, I don't understand what was so insane about that.
oh no! She actually brought that up as a positive. TikTok is gonna eat his ass alive for that one. Oh no, dude! Hey, we are Charlie.
Okay.
Oh,
If you want to be the next debater,
I guess, all right, sure. I don't know. I was expecting kind of something a bit more eventful for the most replayed moment. But you know what? I think that's all we can really do in regards to the Dean Withers Jubilee stuff. But there is some other Dean Withers stuff that I want to look at that has happened since. But we can't watch the Jubilee video, unfortunately, because YouTube will take it down. I don't know what entertainment value Hassan gets from Dean Withers crying at Charlie Kirk or that woman bringing it up. I just don't think it's a big deal at all. He cried. He was like a kid. He was like 19 years old. He's 20 years old. I don't know. Whatever. Who gives a fuck? The internet is they can be real. You know what? I've already gone on this rant so many times, dude. I think they get way too hung up on things that aren't worth getting hung up on. I do think there are issues with Dean Withers, though. I think there are definitely some times where he seems quite cowardly. Dean Withers... I'll find a good example. Maybe I'll go on TikTok for it. It's like if there's some questions that you should be able to answer that clearly make him very uncomfortable.
Don't.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a great example.
You sit here as soon as I start bringing up a point, you start talking and you start muting and you start. Well, I need
to send a picture of that to my girlfriend.
So do you understand?
Do you understand my point?
Would you ever date a trans person, Dean?
I would never date anybody who's not my girlfriend.
Would you ever date a
repeat my
trans
point?
person?
I would never date anybody. That's
Would you
not
ever
my
date a
girlfriend.
trans person? Would you date your girlfriend if she was a trans? Would you ever date somebody if your girlfriend was trans? Would you still date her?
Wow. So you're already off to a bad start. Okay.
Now, let's be clear. The guy asking this question is obviously probably like a huge fucking arsehole. However, this is a cop-out answer from Dean.
Because my girlfriend is perfect the way she is. I can't even engage in hypothetical about her if she were to
Why did he say a trans? Because he's a fucking idiot, dude. He's an idiot.
different. But we're not talking about trans people or my sexual preferences. And just by the way, for the record,
Why are you so scared to?
I just simply don't engage in hypotheticals about my girlfriend or about being with somebody else or about something about my girlfriend.
Yeah, I was going to say, as a trans person, not dating a trans person, just a preference, you shouldn't be dodging the question. You can definitely use it as a teaching moment. Absolutely. Like, Dean Withers this is the thing. I feel like he's very scared of his progressive audience misinterpreting or sort of, or disagreeing with him, whatever answer he has. Because obviously the answer there is, if the answer was yes, I think he would just say yes. But clearly he has a preference for cis women, which is fine. Like, that's okay. But you can say that. You're allowed to say that. Not saying that kind of makes it seem as though the trans people, it kind of makes it seem as though trans people almost aren't accepting. It makes them look more unhinged because it kind of implies that they wouldn't be okay with people having preferences. So you can't just say, you can't just say, you know, there's nothing wrong with trans people. Personally, I've only dated cis women, or I've never dated a trans person, so maybe I wouldn't know. The I don't know is a perfectly fine answer as well. Or maybe not. Like, just fucking say whatever you want. Cis women is wild. Is it? It's actually a good response he could have had. Yeah, but I don't know. Definitely a little cowardice from him there. But it's not like a huge deal or nothing. Dean is too liberal for this sort of thing. He dodges this sort of thing too often because his surface level liberal audience don't want to think about anything too deep. Yeah, but that's like kind of the issue with all audiences though. So I can't even necessarily blame him. Cis women is not wild. Bro women, oh no. Okay, well, if you don't want to call women cis women, then don't call trans women. Just call them women. So if you want to put suffixes or prefixes rather, then use them for everyone. I don't think he wants his fans to get mad. Yeah, but your fans shouldn't be getting mad at that. So, look, sometimes as a creator, I feel like if you have any kind of backbone, you can't cock out to your audience. Like, there are so many things I've said that piss my audience off. There are so many things that I've said that piss you guys off. I've got a goth video coming out tomorrow on the Goth House where I vehemently defend, you know what? We'll wait for it to come out. And then we'll see how angry some people get, I guess. But it's the Funky Frogbait video is that's my go-to example. Because that's a video I was scared to put out at the time because everyone was so anti Funky Frogbait during that whole escapade. Well, to be honest, I think not using suffixes like that would be better though. Maybe I'm dumb. Yeah, maybe. I don't think it's just not a big deal. Who gives a fuck? Whatever. There's some other Dean Withers stuff that I want to go over though. He debated the elder millennial. Now this is a good debate. Because whilst the elder millennial is a huge fucking idiot, and I hate him, and I really despise him, and I hate him, and I think he's a massive idiot, and I hate him, and I despise him, he does have a very big platform, and that kind of makes that makes the debate a lot more worthwhile. Because what happens is people who are part of the elder millennials audience will watch the debate, and even if they stay on the right afterwards, or they're very much like on his side, deep down, if they see him get fucking destroyed, they will think, oh, yeah, like, he kind of got fucked up there. Maybe I'm not on the side that I want to be on. And I do think that is a thing that does happen. I want to remind you guys who the elder millennial is first. I have talked about him on my channel before. During the whole Renee Good... the Renee Good murders, by the way. Like, here we have me in brilliant quality. Jesus Christ. This is back before I knew skincare and I just looked 144p constantly. Yeah, here we go. Here's the elder millennial. He just sort of fakes... He like pulled up a fake video of a completely unrelated car crash and was like, oh, this is an alternate angle of Renee Good trying to run over the police officer. But the comments are great because the video would prove him. Oh, no, actually. Charles say, come on. JD, this is why I know the right. See, I'm covering myself up now. So now it looks like the screen's super low quality, but I'm really high quality. Until
fucking just he was justified. When you try to run over a federal officer, you might, just might, get your ass shot. Let this be a lesson to the rest of you liberals. When ICE, federal law enforcement agency...
Let this be a right to the you liberals. If you don't get on your knees and suck off the ICE members, you will die. Great lesson.
It's a good point there, Jesse. It's a good point. I'm glad you brought that one up. Then here we go. Here's the video he brings up, and he's like, look, here's like an alternate angle of it happening.
Oh, hang about. I thought we didn't...
It's a completely different video. Like, this is not the same thing that happened.
Want to look at the videos. I thought you didn't want to do that. I thought, there's no point getting into it or whatever because not sped up. From difference,
it's an unrelated car crash or car accident.
And she hit him with her car. Therefore, she got shot. So you're welcome to use all the videos with different angles and pretend like it didn't happen. You're welcome to pretend that she was just a soccer mom who just found herself in a bad situation. You're welcome to pretend whatever the fuck you want to pretend. At the end of the day, she intentionally tried to run over a federal agent. As a result, she got shot in the face. She's going to have a closed casket ceremony. And no, I don't feel bad about it at all. I'm not concerned. I don't feel it was overstepping. If you try to run over...
It could be AI.
I have no problem with you getting shot.
Okay, so that's him right there saying...
Okay, that's it. I'm not going to show any more elder millennial stuff, but Yeah, he's just sort of standard fascist propagandist, essentially. He's like mini Charlie Kirk. And he was very much spreading the misinformation. I think he was a huge part of, remember when Renee Good died, there was like a fake criminal record of her that was going viral on Twitter, saying that they were like some child abuser or something. And he was parroting it like very unapologetically, like a huge idiot. So the guy's a fucking moron. And this is the person that Dean Withers is debating in this video here. As you can see, the title is get the title up. I debated TikTok's most deceitful political commentator, older millennial, not elder millennial. Okay, my bad. Older millennial. I think I'm just using the meme term. So yeah, this is actually one that I'm excited to see.
Original
Go ahead, Piss Boy.
is that people should
This one won't get copyrighted either, unless Dean copyrights all his fucking videos as well.
have to justify why they voted for something or voted against something. That is not how our system works.
Wow.
You do not have to justify. I don't have to justify why I didn't vote for Kamala Harris. I could just I could do it because I could do it to be a racist.
Yeah, the stream got smited because of Jubilee.
I don't have to justify it.
Hi, Joe. I'm here to debate you on abortion. I think that abortion should be legal, and abortion is not wrong because fetuses lack the capacity to intellectualize prior to around 20 through 24 weeks. What's the refutation?
I disagree. I think life begins at conception.
I don't think it's that they are unable to intellectualize or whatever he said. I think it's just that they are literally unable to exhibit any form of sentience. So the fact that a fetus has as much consciousness as like as this fucking tub of Vaseline, for example, that's what, in my opinion, makes it so morally unambiguous.
And all life has a right to human rights.
Because no one would give a fuck if I binned this, if I threw it away, or if I burnt it or blew it up. You know what I mean? And I see a fetus like below the age of 20 weeks the same way, pretty much.
Or all human life has a right to human rights, and the most basic of which is the right to life.
Why?
Because again, human life has human rights.
Yeah, I'm asking you, why do you think that our species classification grants us sufficient moral value to instantiate a negative right to life?
Because that's my belief.
But I'm asking you why you hold that belief. Because if the only explanatory power behind your belief is just simply the fact that you hold it, well, then I could say that I don't hold that belief because I don't hold that belief. And then all of a sudden, both of our positions are just as justified as one another.
Yeah, he's right. You can't just say that's what I believe.
So, Joe, I'll ask again, what explanatory power can you grant to the view insofar as why every member of the human species should...
Yeah, I was going to say, this is the thing, it's the fucking best thing ever. Well, it's not the best thing ever. It's the dumbest thing ever when people on the right will justify the murder of Renee Good by saying, oh no, that was a completely justified killing. But abortion, now that's an unjustified murder of a human being. But Renee Good, Alex Pretty, yeah, those are all good. The little schoolgirls that got bombed by Israel and Iran, yeah, those are all good. The genocide in Palestine, no big deal.
Have the right to life.
But a fucking 1-week-old fetus who is unable to exhibit any form of consciousness or sentience, that's you can't, no, too far. Morons, honestly, it's fucking infuriating.
Dean, again, you have the right to say, I believe that, and therefore cannot be moved through my thought process.
Yeah,
you have the right to do that, Dean.
When you say that I have the right to do that, you're just merely describing that I literally can do that. Listen, I'm not saying...
Why are cis men talking about what women should do with their bodies? Because unfortunately, cis men tend to have like the most power in the world. So cis men who do believe in women's rights should absolutely use their privilege to speak up about it, in my opinion.
That you literally, it's metaphysically impossible for you to hold on to a pro-life view. I'm asking you for the good reason that instantiates your belief as being true.
Don't tell me what I was saying. You can either go with what I said, or what you're not going to do is what you do on your live, is tell people what they said. We can go off of what I said.
Yeah.
Where I said I didn't say you can.
First of all, abortion is a sacrifice. Second, they pushed it because you think you can do whatever the fuck you want. That's why you defend it. I can see it in both your eyes. Sorry, what? What does that even mean? Abortion is a sacrifice. If you think abortion is a sacrifice, then what the fuck is going through with the pregnancy and having the child? Is that not a sacrifice worth 100 fucking... Like, that's way more of a sacrifice, dude. They pushed it because you think you can do whatever the fuck you want. They pushed it because you think you can do... That doesn't even... I have no idea what you're talking about, dude.
Say you have a right to have that belief.
All right, well, let's go off of what you said.
So, Dean.
Oh.
Stop. If stop rewording what?
Hot take, Dean talks about abortion to make money. Well, it's a very silly thing. I appreciate the $2, but that's very silly. Like, everything I'm talking about, this is kind of his job. That's what he does, right? Like, I make videos to make money. So if I talk about abortion in a video, then I'm making money off it. I'm talking about abortion to make money. It's just kind of what we do.
I say to fit your narrative.
Okay, that's fair, Joe. We're just going to go off of what you said. The refutation to your view is the fact that your view is circular. You're saying that X self-implies X. That's not a valid line of reasoning. I asked you why you think...
Under God, I believe that under God, we have a basic right to life.
Okay, so it's God that grants the right to life to all members of the human species. What religion do you practice?
Absolutely. I don't practice any religion.
Then how do you know that God grants this right? In order to know,
I have a belief, because any belief in God has a faith element to it.
Okay.
Does Dean Withers exclusively debate people that are like fucking morons? Is that just what happens here? Because I'm kind of losing... Like, I've been indifferent to Dean Withers before. I've been a fan of his before. There have been moments where I don't like him, but like the more... He just seems like very inconsequential nowadays, I feel. Like, if this is the type of content that he puts out regularly, I just feel like there's not really anything happening.
My faith in God tells me that human life is sacred.
I know it's not his fault that he's debating a fucking moron, but you can find smart people to talk to, you know?
And therefore deserves protection.
Even other liberals, maybe talk to like some other liberals about things that you disagree with, because you're not going to agree with them on everything. Or if you're a liberal, talk to a leftist. Talk to someone who's like more far left than you, maybe.
Do you mind if I ask you a question?
Sure.
All right, this question is going to be very simple. So you're telling me that you have faith that some creator exists, and then you're telling me that you have faith that this...
Thank you for the $5.99, Tooth Fairy.
Creator thinks that all humans have the right to live. So what is the difference between...
He debates strangers, he has them call into his show. Yeah, I know, but I feel you should be... It's like how Charlie Kirk only debated students. It's fine to debate strangers and students, but if you exclusively debate people who are underprepared, then I feel like you lose a lot of credibility in my eyes. Like, you should, as someone who wants, like, you know, political... as someone who wants like respect, or someone who wants to be seen as credible, you should talk to people who are qualified as well.
You arguing that abortion is impermissible because of a faith in a creator.
And Dean has a very big platform. He could definitely do that.
Creator that believes it's wrong, and me arguing.
He talked to a leftist and attempted. He didn't know what Abu Ghraib is. Oh yeah, I did see that. I thought it was very stupid, the criticism he got from that. That happened like the year we were born. Me and Dean are the same age. That happened like the year we were born. If you're expecting him to know like every single thing that's happened politically in all the human fucking history and to name all the victims of that event, it's like, well, you can't really scrutinize him for not knowing what it is.
That abortion.
And also, he was honest about it. He was honest. He said that he didn't know. Like, if he spoke about it and was like acting as though he did know, but you found out he was lying about it, then sure, that's worthy of criticism. But I don't think it's worth criticizing him for that at all.
Is permissible because of a faith in a creator that thinks it's not wrong.
Again, there is no difference. Again, you're arguing from your faith-based perspective. If you believe in a God that thinks killing children is okay, again, you're making a faith-based argument.
I have one more question.
Believe in God that says that, okay, I'm going to finish my answer.
That's fine.
How about you calm down?
You got it.
Again, you are making a claim based on the God you believe in, believing that the murder of children is okay. I am saying the God I believe in doesn't say that's okay.
Cool.
I read your super chat, Tooth Fairy. Don't worry about it, dude.
My second question is, what's the difference between...
I didn't read it out loud, but I did read it. Sorry, I'll read it. I can read it out loud. I don't care if Dean gets paid for what he does because he's spreading awareness and educating people in the process whilst compromising his safety.
Between you arguing that you have faith in a creator, and then you have faith that that creator thinks that abortion is wrong, and me arguing that I have faith in a creator, and I have a faith that this creator thinks that Joe is a dumbass. What's the difference?
Okay.
There is no difference. That's sort of the issue with divine intervention, is that you could just say something completely contradictory and they'd both be as valid.
Again, there is no difference. If your God teaches you that Joe is a dumbass.
Okay, we are speeding this up.
You can make that claim based on faith. I'm not telling you you don't get to make that claim.
So just to clarify.
Why is he telling him to calm down? Because this is a common tactic with a lot of people who are very stupid or lose debates constantly or don't know what the fuck they're doing or are conservative a lot of the time, is they will say calm down, they'll say relax, they'll say, oh, this stupid shit, because it makes you... It's like it's a really pathetic attempt to try and make you seem unhinged and irrational, and them seem really calm and rational and smart and intelligent. So they go, all right, let's calm down. You're getting very agitated there. Just relax a little bit. That's what they're attempting to do there.
No, it's not clarified. What you're trying to do is put restrictions on what I think God can put on your heart. I don't believe that God can, that restriction is possible.
So just to clarify, now that you have explicitly and verbally stated that we have just as much reason to believe that abortion is wrong as we do to believe the
Jesse, my Chinese co-workers say hello. Tell them that I said, shishi.
Proposition that Joe is a dumbass. Are you arguing that it's just as likely to be true that abortion is wrong as it is to be true that you are a dumbass?
Again, you are making a God argument. You are making an argument as if your faith puts it on it. If you are going to make the claim that God has put it on your heart to believe that Joe is a dumbass, you get to have that belief.
All right. Now let's do the jump between belief and voting for legislation. Because
yeah, good idea. Let's put some captions on.
You're not just merely arguing that you get to hold on to the belief that abortion is morally wrong because of a sense of faith in a creator, then a sense of faith that that creator thinks that abortion is wrong, but also that you could then follow that up by justifiably supporting pro-life legislation that bans access to abortion. Here's the next question. What's the
Why are YouTube captions so fucking ugly? Like, what is this big black box? It's very stupid.
First of all, wait, stop right there. Stop right there. Again, you're assuming my thought process. When it comes to the way that our Constitution is set up, I do not believe that we have the federal ability to restrict abortion because, again, it is not a power given to the federal government through the Constitution, and the only power the federal government has is the power given to it by the Constitution. That is why I don't think that you should be able to put a national ban, and I also don't think you should be able to nationally allow it. I think it is left up to the states because if you're talking about from a legal perspective, the way our nation
I think Dean is a grifter. I'd love for you to know why.
is set up, like
I'd love to explain why.
a good example is I live in Florida. I'm against abortion, but Florida needed to reach a 60% threshold to ban abortion. We didn't reach that threshold. Therefore, abortion is still legal in Florida. I disagree with it, but I do not get to impose my beliefs on other people.
Would you argue that because of your belief that abortion is wrong, that you are justified in voting for pro-life legislation that would restrict and ban women and girls' access to abortion?
So I believe that under our system, we vote for what we believe is best.
You're not answering my question.
Would I believe I have the right to vote?
No, that's not what I'm asking.
Yes, of course I would believe I have the right to vote on any proposal.
That's not what I asked.
By the United, it is what you asked.
No, I asked you if you'd be justified in voting for it.
Again, under our system, yes. Because
Okay.
I just don't take this type of content seriously. Well, that's fine, but that's very different from saying that he's a grifter. Like, what the fuck?
our system is set up is that anything is put forward in legislation, that everyone is justified to vote on that legislation with what they believe. That's how it works in our system.
Wait, so you'd argue that like people are justified in attempting to vote for legislation to, I don't know.
It's not attempting to vote. Americans are justified to vote on legislation that is put forward to Americans.
What do you think I mean by justified?
Okay, dude, what? This fucking older millennial's he's not bringing anything to the table here. This is not a debate about abortion. This isn't a debate about abortion.
You tell me. What are you trying to say is just?
Honestly, this is how debates about abortion usually go. It's a very exhausting topic to talk about.
Yeah, because you're like using this word justified in a legal sense. And so far, can I speak?
We were having a legal argument. So I am
debating politics over the phone for content is unserious. What? Okay, sure, but again, that doesn't make him a grifter. You said that he's a grifter.
Imagine when you're using the word justified, are you flipping back and forth between legality and morality?
Well, let me just explain to you the sense in which I'm using the word justified because it seems to be clear. When I say justified, I just mean, do you have good reason to do this thing? I bet that we could agree here that it is important for people to have good reasons to do what they do. It's important for people to have good reasons to believe what they believe. And it's important for people to have good reasons to vote for what they vote for. From my perspective, this would look like arguing that people who voted for Trump probably shouldn't have because they didn't have good reason to do so because of bad policy. From your perspective, it would look like people who voted for Kamala Harris probably shouldn't have because they don't have any good reason to support her policy and her candidacy, right? So do you agree that you, from your perspective, that because of your faith,
didn't he threaten to join the right because of the Charlie Kirk stuff? No, he didn't fucking say that. If you're someone who believes that, I'm sorry, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. And you're gullible and you didn't actually watch the fucking video. And if you did and you misinterpreted it that way, then you shouldn't be watching videos because it's that easy to fucking trick you. He never fucking said that. How dumb, like, come on. We're all going to sit here and genuinely say that we think Dean Withers said, oh, I might join the right if you guys annoy me a bit too much. He didn't fucking say that, dude.
Belief, your faith-based belief in a creator, and then faith in the fact that you think that creator believes that abortion is morally wrong, that you therefore have good reason to vote for pro-life legislation on the state level.
So I disagree with your entire premise. Your entire premise is that you need to justify why you vote in favor or against something.
I said you should justify.
But again, now you're making a judgment call. Again, you don't have to justify. Nobody has to justify why they vote for something under the American.
The question is, do you agree that they should?
Dean, stop. Again, Dean, stop.
Okay, but just keep in mind,
your whole piece.
You're equivocating between the word need and should.
I'm so disappointed, man. I want to watch these videos. I want to watch the fucking Dean Withers stuff. I wanted to watch the fucking Strip It Jubilee video. I was excited to see Older Millennial get dunked on because he's a fucking idiot. I'd love to chat to Older Millennial about Renee Good specifically because I think what he did there was unforgivable and he got away with it way too easily. But this is just nothing. This is nothing. I'm watching nothing. Dean is a grifter because he pretends to be indigenous randomly. His ongoing anti-black microaggressions that he's repeatedly apologized to his mutuals and audience about while still doing them. Black microaggressions. What the fuck? What? Let me have a look at these supposed microaggressions. Dean Withers. They're saying that he's... Whoops, that's just me. Dean Withers micro... If you're talking about Dashika, then I think that's very silly. If I type in Dean Withers microaggression, it's all just like 3-hour-long VODs of a drama from like a year or two ago. So I don't know if this is something that I can be bothered to get into currently. Maybe after everything.
Say your whole piece, Dean. Shut up.
Okay.
So your original
Go ahead, display.
was that people should have...
But for the record, microaggressions are forgivable, especially if they're unintentional. The word micro is burnt into the term for a good reason, in my opinion.
Have to justify why they voted for something or voted against something. That is not how our system works.
Wow.
You do not have to justify. I don't have to justify why
I don't even know if it's true. Like, I don't even know if it's true. Because people said Funky Frogbait was microaggressing when they went on that monologue, and there was no microaggression to be found, in my opinion.
Vote for Kamala Harris. I can do it because I can do it to be a racist. I don't have to justify it. You can vote against Kamala Harris because you hate black people. You don't have to justify it. You're allowed to do that. Now you can judge that person for choosing to vote against Kamala Harris because they're racist, but they don't have to justify it. So your entire premise that you should have to justify why you vote a certain way, it goes against our entire system. This is why when you vote, you have a private vote. You don't have to sit. It logs whether or not you voted. It doesn't log whether or not what you voted for. It doesn't.
I think people shouldn't expect him to speak on things he isn't knowledgeable of, because if he does, he won't end up doing much good, if any at all. Yeah, I agree.
Log how you voted, because you do not have to justify why you vote in favor or against something.
Yeah, bro. Appreciate you so much for the long-winded explanation of something that you've already said 4 times. You continually and intentionally misinterpret the words in which I'm saying in an attempt to obfuscate away from the point that I'm making. My point was never, legally, are you required to justify your beliefs before you vote in accordance with those?
Dean's advocacy outweighs his mistakes, IMO. Yeah, I agree, because his mistakes seem like he's not made a huge mistake, in my opinion.
Beliefs. No. Rather, the question that I asked you was, do you agree that people should justify their beliefs before they vote on their beliefs?
You know what? Fuck that. I can't watch this fucking video. I can't watch this fucking video, dude. I cannot. I can't. I'm sorry, we're not watching this video. I'm done with this video. It's over.
So Dean...
Okay, let's look at the Abu Ghraib stuff.
Dean Withers doesn't know what Abu Ghraib is. Let's check this video out. I'm using this picture where he looks like an MK Ultra victim because maybe the government tampered with his brain.
So, as you said, you were not familiar with...
Oh, here it is. A leftist debated Dean Withers, and he just deflected and insulted me anytime I brought up American imperialism and how Democrats and Republicans are both destructive and imperialist to third world countries. Yeah, true. They both have a history of doing destruction and imperialism. However, Republicans definitely have a worse history.
Ghraib, it was a...
And there definitely was currently, for sure.
...concentration camp in Iraq. In the past, there have been Democrats and Republicans both who have both been really imperialistic and just ignorant to what's happening in other countries as a result to American imperialism. And it's a subject that I really care about deeply because my family has personally been affected by it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think that you're really ever going to be like an effective political interlocutor in the American political system, even if we don't have a two-party system with your mindset. Because you just said, well, the Democrats didn't like shut down some concentration camp in Iraq. Okay.
You'll never be an effective political interlocutor in America because you want the Democrats to stop doing imperialism and torturing people. Well, Dean, isn't that kind of the whole problem?
I want to see the whole clip.
American political system that both parties...
Fuck's sake, I need to see the whole clip.
A lot of y'all are seeing people rightfully criticize Dean Withers for not recognizing the name Abu Ghraib, for not knowing about that event, and getting defensive because you yourself didn't recognize that name and you don't know about the event. But I'm going to level with y'all. I had to Google it. And once I Googled it and I saw the pictures, I realized I did actually know what they were talking about, sort of. But I'm going to say the controversial thing, which is I don't think it's a cardinal sin for somebody who wasn't even alive for 9/11, much less to remember it, to not know that name off the top of their head. I don't think you're stupid. I didn't learn about it in school. I learned about it because those pictures went viral on Tumblr a few times. However, for somebody who positions himself as a point of authority on American politics, as a point of authority on foreign policy, it is frustrating for them to not understand or know about one of the defining events that has shaped the last 25 years of U.S. history. And the thing is, whether you hate him...
Philosophy Noir. Thank you very much for joining the stream, by the way. Big fan. I didn't know what it was until I saw the pictures. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. You're young, innit?
Or you love him because he's a 21-year-old minor who's never done or said anything wrong. You need to understand the reason.
21-year-old minor who's never done or said anything. Sorry, what? What is going on there?
He doesn't know about these things. And not because he's stupid. It's not because he's malicious. It's just...
I fucking hate the internet, dude. It's just people say really silly things sometimes. Like, how are we going to skip 21-year-old minor? What are you talking about? Point of authority, does he do that, though? Put himself there. I don't know if he... Fuck this, man. Fucking stupid. Everything's so dumb. Was that a joke? Was that a joke? Was that a joke? Maybe. I guess so.
Because he never thought that the people that he debates, which are widely Republicans and conservatives who are widely...
You know what the issue is? I think it's because so many people join his stream. And most of the people that join his stream are very silly and unintelligent and stupid. So he kind of... The second someone joins one of those live streams, he just assumes off the bat that they're going to be stupid. So he exhibits this like very smug, I'm so much smarter than you, attitude to every single person that's on his stream. So even if someone joins and they happen to be someone who's very clever, Dean won't treat them that way. And he'll assume that anything they bring up that he's not heard of is just another bullshit talking point that he can dispatch, if that makes sense, like effortlessly. I think that might be part of the issue here. And I think that's an issue. I think that is a big issue with Dean, is that like that arrogance. I think that, yeah, they must have been joking about the 21-year-old minor thing. But again, though, I'd love to see. I would love to see the clip. Schools don't teach Abu Ghraib. I only know about this because my father lived in Egypt for like a decade and taught me about the shit he saw on land. Doesn't mean others are stupid. It means I'm lucky. Yeah, I mean, it's not something that I learned about in school either. It's just something I know about because I've read a lot about the Middle East and like the Arabic world, but it's not something. It's like whatever, man. I really do want to see the original clip though, but I'm not sure if I can find it. Is it on this live stream VOD? Maybe this will be my last attempt. And then we'll look at one last clip of his before we end the Dean Withers segment, I think. Nah, not on this live, not on this, not on this. To be fair, if it's in the comments, then... No, okay, not that. All right, one last thing. There's a clip circulating of him saying that he might stop the live stream debates. And to be honest, I think I'm not entirely against that.
Because of the level.
So let's have a look at that.
Minds as possible and convince individuals to be.
I think that activism is important, but I do also feel like it's very surface level baby politics, you know? Abu Ghraib is not surface level baby politics. Most people do not know what it is. It's that simple. It's also very easy to say that as someone who, like, if you're someone who grew up understanding it or knowing about it, then it seems that way to everyone. Oh, do you think that like the politics that he like talks about is quite surface level? Because that's, you know, that's a fair critique, I think, as well. He doesn't really go too in depth in his analyses.
Progressives. That's like the goal, you know what I mean? But when we have like a bunch of trolls that then join the live stream, it makes this like it makes it really hard to advocate for progressive causes and change minds. So it makes me think that maybe
I think debate is his strength, but if he's going to take a break, I hope he switches into political education. I think debate is his strength as well, but it's difficult to say because he doesn't really debate anyone who's worth debating.
If I were just to stop doing the live streams and refocus on long form content on YouTube and more short form content on platforms like TikTok, Instagram, so on and so forth, that we would actually just be more productive in changing minds. So that's something that I've been talking about for a while now, is possibly just stopping these daily live streams because of the level of trolls that we get.
Look. You guys are saying that he's like a great debater and he does these but the thing is, if you're like a 1000 ELO chess player, that's like pretty beginner level, right? It's not intermediate, it's not advanced. It's like the upper level of beginner, you know? It's like maybe just escaping the beginner part, right? But if you only play chess with people who are like 500 ELO, then you're gonna look like the best chess player on the fucking planet. But it doesn't make you smart. It doesn't make you smart for destroying a bunch of people. It makes you a fucking idiot. It makes you an idiot because you're not going to be improving. You don't know how good you are. No one else sees how good you are. It's just an ego thing. That's kind of what these lives are. That's kind of what I see Dean Withers' debates are. That's kind of what I see his debates as, rather. That's fair. Conservatives aren't exactly difficult to defeat in a debate. It's not even that conservatives aren't easy to defeat. Well, some would be. I'm sure there are smart conservatives out there, but I don't think Dean talks to them. I don't think he speaks to them.
You know, and it's not like an emotional decision. It's not.
And he doesn't speak to enough leftists. For some reason, he only allows people who are like pro-Trump on the live stream. I feel like if you want to have really good, fruitful, decent conversation, and not just smarmy, arrogant bullshit, you should invite anyone who disagrees with you on anything substantial onto the live streams. Like if Dean Withers is a staunch capitalist, for example, and someone comes in and they're like a huge supporter of socialism or communism, that could be a really interesting, substantial, like meaty debate there. And it would be one where hopefully he doesn't like devolve into smug arrogance, if that makes sense.
Rash decision being made.
And actually treats them like they might have something worth knowing.
Made because of anger. It's not a brash decision being made because I'm upset, because I'm taking things too seriously. But it's a very logical decision because these live streams are very quickly becoming an unproductive mechanism to change minds. So just expect me to quit these live streams if we continue to have this volume of trolls. The reason why...
this is a Streisand'ian bargain, by the way. Like, this is going to backfire, in my opinion. I think this is only going to massively up the level of trolling that he gets, personally.
I haven't quit these live streams yet is because I expect the volume of trolls to go down. I think that it all kind of started with those clips of people joining the live stream and singing the We Are Charlie Kirk song. When those blew up, those got millions of views. Those got millions of likes. It then caused hundreds of people to join my live stream on a daily basis and begin to...
It's what I was saying earlier. The fact he only talks about the same 2 or 3 topics is why people think he's a grifter, because it's such surface level politics. See, I don't want to call him a grifter because I think he believes in what he talks about in regards to those topics, but it does get really fucking old. Like, it gets super old. And it gets very predictable, and it gets very obvious what the game is, if that makes sense.
Roll me. I thought that after a while...
I do think the chess analogy is the best one, though.
Die down. It's kind of been a couple of weeks now, and it hasn't.
It's like he's got 1,000 elo, but he only debates people who are 500 elo, and he only uses the Italian opening. He never changes it up. That's the only one he knows how to use.
So just to let you guys know, I fully intend to quit doing these live streams and to refocus my daily efforts on long-form YouTube content and short-form TikTok and Instagram and Facebook content if the level of trolls that these live stream gets does not go down. I fully intend to stop doing them.
Statistically, debating doesn't help change minds anyway. Community outreach is much better. I think statistically, the way that minds get changed most often is that old people die. I think statistically, that's the most common way that like political parties change power-wise. But debates do help. In a democratic society, debates, conversation, it's kind of all we have, if that makes sense.
Not because of anger, not because of my emotion, not because I'm upset, not because I need a break, but literally because if my goal is to change as many minds as possible and make as many people as possible progressive, that goal would just simply be better fulfilled by other mechanisms of content production compared to these live streams, because the trolls, in a sense, make these live streams much more difficult to be an effective vehicle of change. So just like keep that.
You can keep debating on live, but just maybe don't debate strangers. Like there are so many creators who would kill to debate Dean Withers. I'd love to have a chat with him. I'm sure we'd have a great chat about some bullshit. I don't fucking know. But there are so many creators who, like, because he's a huge creator, there are many creators who are very intelligent, very well spoken, very, very much smarter and more productive than any of the strangers that he might get on his live stream. Just talk to those people, because you know you won't be getting any trolls there. You don't need to do it every day, but if you want to continue your debate style, if you want to continue the debate but like with no trolls and no danger of trolls or no danger of wasted time or fucking morons entering your bullshit, then do that and run the risk of looking like a fool every now and then. You can't be correct every time.
Mind when you troll, dude. You know, Let's go to get that next guest connected to the live stream. Only hop inside of that box if you do happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. Please and thank you.
He won't because he knows he's going to sound dumb. Well, we need to normalize people being okay with sounding dumb every now and then.
Thank you. Hey, do you support Trump?
Okay. That's pretty much the end of that clip. So yeah, I personally think it would probably be a good thing if Dean Withers stopped the live streams in the form of which they currently are. If that makes, he doesn't need to stop them entirely, but the way that they are currently, I think those should. I think they are. You know, it's about time for a change. I think it'd be a lot more productive. How does banning abortion benefit the people of the United States? Why would anyone go for that? I mean, you're in the wrong chat, buddy, because everyone agrees with you. But yeah, dude. If he really wants to debate, maybe pick better topics. I'll pay big money that I don't have to see him debate anti-Pitbull because anti-Pitbull people, since he likes going through data and whatnot. Sure, why not? Maybe specify the topics a bit more. Like instead of do you support Trump every single fucking stream, you can change it up a little bit. If you want, maybe change it up as in like if you have a topic, it's like in 1 week we'll be debating this, and then you can get a group of people before the stream, so it's not happening all at once. You can hire a team. You could easily hire a team. He's got the money. He's got the resources. He's got the resources to do it. If you bring a topic up, hire a team of people to pick a bunch, like get a bunch of applications set, for example, and then you have like a group of people, like a team, pick certain people who seem qualified, who seem educated, who seem like they'd be good content, and then you could have a live stream where you talk to 10 different people about the prompt that you're on about. There are plenty of ways to go about this. But unfortunately, the way to keep these troll-free and productive means that you are going to be in a more dangerous situation because there's more danger of you looking uneducated, of you looking a bit silly at points. But that's okay. And I understand it's scary to do on the internet with the audiences that a lot of people have, because if you look silly once, then that's sort of like the Abu Ghraib thing's a great example. He didn't know what Abu Ghraib was, and look at how many fucking people went insano style. You know what I mean? So that's clearly why, to an extent, he's so scared of looking uneducated at certain times. But if you really want to make a change, you have to get over that. You just have to get over that. Like, you'll have a core audience that sticks with you if you're good faith, you know? The guy's huge. The guy is huge.
Point is, Lily, hello?
But yeah, we don't need to... I think that's pretty much all I have to say about Dean Withers currently.